50 years ago, American voters faced a choice not unlike what voters face today. Ronald Reagan explained what was at stake in a now famous speech urging the public to elect Senator Barry Goldwater as president. The address marked the beginning of a new conservative movement. And as Heather Sells reports, it's the focus of this year's Reagan Symposium at Regent University.
Thank you and good evening.
Before he was president, Ronald Reagan presented A Time for Choosing. The speech was given in 1964, but many of the issues sound very 2014.
We haven't balanced our budget 28 out of the last 34 years. We've raised our debt limit 3 times in the last 12 months. We're against forcing all citizens, regardless of need, into a compulsory government program.
What Reagan essentially did was to cast a vision of 2 starkly different worldviews. And many here at this symposium believe those views are still being fiercely debated today.
The reason it resonates now is we have a sense of having lost our way.
For Reagan, the threat was always the encroaching arm and coercive arm of government. So that, things change and they stay the same.
Ronald Reagan was speaking boldly. It might not have worked out after what he said. Maybe his political career would be over. But he felt he had to say the truth. It was called A Time for Choosing because it was a time for choosing.
Mr. Ronald Reagan.
In fact, the speech launched Reagan's political career. Soon after, he ran for governor of California. And it propelled the ideas of an emerging conservative movement onto the national stage. Unintentionally, of course, it also foreshadowed today's growing concerns over government control and loss of freedom.
Our natural unalienable rights are now considered to be a dispensation of government, and freedom has never been so fragile.
Reagan correctly saw that if you don't institutionally and culturally restrain government and its role in our lives, it will, by default, gravitational pull, just assume a greater and greater role, and that just means the erosion of freedom.
Debate over the speech at this year's symposium drew academics and students, but also many who simply realize how relevant its truths are today. Heather Sells, CBN News.